Well, last episode there were rumors of us moving to the French national team ahead of the upcoming World Cup, and now it's all eyes on the future of our career this time out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Respect the Jeff here, and let's not waste any time. The French national team has officially offered us the job, and with a big World Cup coming up, how can we say no? We're gonna accept. But I do want to say our primary focus here is obviously still Paris FC. We're not going to spend too much time on this national team until the season ends and we can put all of our focus there. So when the season does end, I'll do a dedicated video or two just on the World Cup with France. So stay tuned for that. But since this is new, let me just show you where we're at. It's a friendly international break, so we're coming in, we're just gonna observe the team. This is the team that's already been called up. We did not make any decisions just yet, and I'm gonna leave it up to everybody in the Discord. I already have an ongoing vote in there, so feel free to join. Link is in the description if you haven't already. You can vote on who you wanna see us bring to the World Cup, and I'm gonna take the highest voted players from there to the World Cup with us. But like I said, for now, we're just gonna sit back and observe the team in action in some of these upcoming friendlies. And one thing we absolutely love to see right off the bat, Gaëtan Laura and Kylian Mbappe are starting up together. We're gonna have a tough decision to make though. Mbappe was one of the main reasons we were forced out of PSG. So it's going to be a big question. Are we going to be able to overcome the differences and complications we've had in the past and find a good managerial partnership? Or are we going to leave him out of the squad? I'm going to leave the vote up to you guys, like I've said before. And seeing as he's probably the best player in the world in this career mode save, I think it is in our best interest to get the best out of Mbappe. And it's going to be interesting to see who we call up here. We have a really deadly partnership. You can see in the French team already, a lot of attacking talent, and despite not scoring too many goals here in some of these friendly games, they're definitely capable of it. I think once we get things going, we're going to see a lot more. Mbappe eventually does find the breakthrough goal. As a 95 rated striker, it seems like it's probably just a matter of time with him. Gaëtan Laura, we know what he can do as well. There are so many talented players in this French national team, and I cannot wait to use them in the World Cup. But we're going to have something to think about on our hands in terms of what formation to use, how to get the best of these players. Despite all of the attacking prowess in this side, the friendlies didn't end up all that good. And actually, in fact, Ukraine were able to hold France to kind of a boring 1-1 draw at the end of the day. A lot more is expected of this team, and there's no need to panic just yet. It's a friendly. We're getting the feel for the team. We haven't even really stepped in as manager yet. So a lot of decisions to come about the future of this team, who we call up, and how we shape up. So taking a look at the available players for us, it is stacked. We obviously have a lot of already great talent in here, but we have a big pool to call from as well. We have players in our team who are eligible, who we might call up because we're familiar with them. We know how they play, they know our system. So to be decided on some of these players. And again, go into the link in the description here, join the Discord if you haven't already, and definitely get your vote in. But with that said, let's take a step back. We are still manager of Paris FC. That is still the career here. So until the World Cup, we're not really going to focus on the national team anymore. But just wanted to clue you all in on that. We are in first place on the bright side on 33 points with a whopping goal differential. This game is the kind of game that's going to count for a lot. Lille have given us a lot of trouble in the past, and despite not being too high up the table this season, I think it's more due to a slow start than anything. They're capable of it, and we got to shift our focus back to the league. So, with that said, let's get back to action. All right, well, this is where the priority lies with Paris FC, and in Ligue 1, we really need to get the best out of this team. Our goal is to try to win the league this season, try to make it far in the Champions League and the Cup. We have the team to do it. We've brought in big reinforcements. We've done amazing this season so far, and we got to do it against the top teams. I think if we can get a result against a team like Lille, that is obviously just going to keep our momentum going, but some very suspicious passing in the back line for us leads to a really good chance as Lille find their way into our box, and we just cannot seem to get a clear head. But eventually we find some success on the break. Gaëtan Laura released with a lovely pass. We've seen it work before, didn't quite come off that time. And honestly, we're struggling a little bit here to find consistency early in the game. Jordan Veretout, though, slips through Husni, who has all the pace in the world, sprinting down the byline. What is he going to be able to do here? And he puts it across the face of goal. No one able to get there, but most of the best chances of this game have fallen to Paris FC so far. Laura, top of the box, cracks a shot. Too hard for the goalkeeper to keep a hold of, but despite all of that, still unable to really put it in the back of the net. Ilyas Husni goes down after a crunching challenge, and he does carry on. We hope he'll be okay after that. One of our most important players, obviously. And on we go here, still unable to clear at the edge of our area, and twisting and turning the opposition, find a chance, saved really well by the goalkeeper, who keeps things level here as we go into the second half. On we go, Vinicius Tobias, overlapping run. What can he do? Cuts it back. Felipe Anderson, lovely little give and goes here with the team. Anderson still going, but unable to quite get that final pass off, and eventually it is cleared away there. I think we're trying to overcomplicate things, maybe a little too much in attack. With half an hour left, we gotta sort this one out if we want a victory, but it is Lille who find themselves the first goal of the game. Really incisive pass, clean down the middle, and it's just some poor marking there. Issa Diop unable to close down. Despite how brilliant he's been this season, it wasn't enough. So Husni unable to shake that injury, which is unfortunate. He's a difference maker for us, but we don't want to risk it anymore. So it's the striker Mara who comes up top alongside Gaetan Laura, and the two of them will be desperate to try to find us a goal and turn the tides a little bit here. Lille putting a ball into our area, though, and a header at goal. It's off the crossbar. Another warning sign in our penalty area, and on they go. Lihaji at the top of the box, and Axel Bamba closing down. We just can't get it away as Lille start to turn the knife a little bit here. Another shot goes wide with only seconds remaining, and then a huge mistake between the defense. It's Issa Diop with the back pass there to Lucas Zidane, who was not anticipating it. That is one of the worst own goals you will see. I don't even know who's more to blame there, to be honest. I think that the running theme here has been Lucas Zidane has mistakes in him and just didn't really see that. But it's a poor pass from the center back, to be fair, and between the two of them, it was enough to really put the nail in the coffin for this one. 2-0 Paris FC seen out, and a pretty lackluster performance. Well, fresh off the back of all of our news with the national team, you wonder if it's starting to get to the players a little bit. Maybe our head wasn't quite in it. We're not as dialed in, but one thing's for sure, we need to get our focus back and do it quick, because the title race is still on and we're still in first. Alright, well, this one's hard to take. Ilyas Husni is going to be out for a month after spraining his knee in that game, and with such a crucial player out coming into this game against Chelsea, it's a match that could be a decider in us either going to the knockout stages of the Champions League or not. I mean, there's no getting around the fact that being without Husni is always difficult, but on the bright side, this is at least the most well-rounded and well-balanced squad we've had, so we have players who can fill in the gaps. Anderson, Garby, Laura up top going into this one. With that said, let's do this. All right, here we go. We take on Chelsea again. I think we put in a really good shift against them earlier in the season, but it wasn't enough, and they still ended up beating us 2-0. It's a slightly rotated side this time around, maybe not quite the strongest we would hope for. We are missing Husni, and due to some fatigue, we had to rotate a little bit. But we still have a really strong lineup. We have a strong philosophy in the way we play. It means a lot to these players, and I think we always have an upset in us. We've seen that before. Some of the games in our time against PSG and some of the other top teams in Ligue 1. So we're going to get out there and show the world what we've got on the European stage. And on we go, starting the game pretty strong. 10 minutes in, it is Romain Perraud down that left-hand side. Does well to keep a hold of possession. Soumaré. We've actually had the lion's share of the ball here early in the match, and it is Florian Thauvin, who we have not seen too much from this season. Tries to sneak it through the legs of the goalkeeper. Can't quite find it, but it's a really good effort there early in the game from one of our fringe attackers, making his way into the side here. Gaetan Laura tries to get a shot on target. Can't quite offer the corner, but really good start here from Paris FC. Paulinho tries to shoot, and he's brought down by John Stones. No call given there, though, and now it's Chelsea's turn finally to flex their attacking firepower just a little bit. Hakim Ziyech, who scored an absolute screamer against us in the first matchup of between these two teams earlier in the season, on the ball here. And now Kai Havertz has his try at goal, and very similar to the one we saw from Ziyech earlier, absolute rocket. There is no stopping that, but it is poor marking. Someone should have closed that down, and we pay the price now, finding ourselves a goal down. Pulisic from distance almost makes it 2 with a very similar effort. Chelsea have some sharpshooters, that's for sure, and Timo Werner unable to convert directly in front of goal. Could have made it 2, and now we find ourselves firmly on the back foot in this game, a goal down already, and now Chelsea cranking up the pressure. It's Pulisic who plays it through for Ziyech, who finishes to make it 2. We try to play our game out from the back, but it just doesn't come off. Now coming into the second half, we have a mountain to climb. 2 goals down, and Chelsea really starting to crank things up in terms of pressure here, passing the ball around. Pulisic. It is 3 really poor performance here from Paris FC, and it's just starting to become sloppy play from us here. Fair play to Chelsea. They have been on it from minute 1 here, but it's going to be a big ask for us to find ourselves a way back into this one. Gaetan Lura doing everything he can do. Can't even get the shot on target. Veretout, Soumaré plays it through. Ismail Garbi. Will he cut it back? What can he do here? Soumaré again. Can't quite find the way through. Paulinho shot at goal. Deflected off of the goalkeeper. Well, we've had our chances in this game, but we didn't take any of them. The end result is a 3-0 defeat against Chelsea. A match that could be very, very important in our Champions League hopes of moving on to the next stages. So, depending on results elsewhere, this one could mean a lot. Alright, well, we return our focus back to the league for now. We'll get back to the Champions League soon enough. Looking at our calendar, we have Lyon in the league. It's a tough stretch for us. We had Lille, Chelsea, Lyon, and then we go into December here where we take on PSG, Reims, and then another really important Champions League match here. We're going to be without Ilias Husni for all of them, which is a huge deal for this team. He's one of our star players, obviously, so we're going to need the rest of the team to step up big time in his absence. So now we take on Lyon, 7th place Lyon, who we know can really push their way up the table this season. And we're going to have to rely on some of our other wingers. Bolosian technically is a central attacking midfielder, but he's got the pace to play out on the wing. He's a player I want to see more from this season, so he gets his first start of the season, and it is a big vote of confidence for him to get in there and try to make an impact in the team. So, with that said, let's get back to the action. Alright, well, a big call here to start. Ginwell Bolosian, the 20-year-old who was out on loan last season at Ajax, really impressed, grew a ton, and on paper right now, he is among our most promising youngsters. 80 overall is no joke at all, and with that kind of rating and the kind of performances he had out on loan, he deserves minutes for us this season. This is his chance with Ilias Husni out and some of our wingers starting to get fatigued in this game. It's his chance, but it's another youngster who impresses early in the match here. Vinicius Tobias, he's been on fire this season, scoring a goal. He's had tons of attacking potential ever since he's been in the team, since I think being 17 or 18 when we signed him, but he's really started to polish off his ability to play final third balls and really even just finish chances on his own, as we saw with that finish. It was no joke into the top corner. Really quality stuff from the youngster. And honestly, Paris FC are starting to develop a reputation for really developing youngsters. We have Tobias, we have a ton of French national team youngsters, or French youngsters who could be eligible for the national team coming through. Players like Ilias Husni even, and obviously Bolosian coming through the ranks. Diakite, a lot of other youngsters who have really played a significant role for us. But we got to be careful here in the game. Just about dealt with by Lucas Zidane as we come towards halftime, protecting this slim 1-0 lead that we earned ourselves. We're having to fight for every single ball in this game, though, and eventually it's in the back of the net, but that is going to be offsides. Wow. That was a really close call, and honestly, that could have turned the tides of the game just enough to really make us nervous. But Lyon not giving up at all. A lot of quality chances here in the second half as they continue to really make a push here and try to get themselves back on level terms. We are defending for our lives, and eventually they do finish. Dinked ball perfectly just over the top of the fingertips of Zidane, who did everything he could to get there. But that's the kind of risk we run when we concede so many chances in our box. One of them is going to end up in the back of the net. So we got half an hour left, and we have to find a goal because this win would be important for us. Soumaré drags his shot wide of the net. He has been so much better this season, our midfielder, but finishing still not necessarily his strong suit, and we pay the price with a missed chance there. Ginoel Bolosian now, a little dink through for Veretout, give and go. Bolosian finishes into the top corner with a powerful header. There you have it. We gave him the start, he delivered, and that just could be the goal that decides this game. Oh, what a performance from the youngster. It's just a matter, I think, of giving some of these players minutes. It's not only Bolosian, but we also signed Maisen Benama alongside him. He's another player who hasn't had much of a shot yet, but probably deserves one. And honestly, it's becoming a bit of just a struggle with us trying to find minutes for the youngsters. Ethan Mbappe is another one who signed last season and just can't really seem to find consistent minutes in this squad. With so much attacking talent and good players and depth, it is hard to find minutes really to rotate these players, so we might see some players moving on in the coming seasons, but as long as we're doing well, that is all we care about here. And as we wind the time down, it is a bicycle kick from Gaetan Lora. Wow, what a way to finish this game off. Incredible stuff. I was honestly just kind of trying to kill time, move the ball around here so we could see it out, but what a strike! Take a look at that replay. That is why he is the world-class striker that he is currently. Gaetan Lora, take a bow. He didn't do too much for a lot of this game, but you give him a half chance like that and he is going to finish several of them over the course of his season. And just like that, it looks a little more comfortable for us at the end. 3-1, but make no mistake, that was a hard-fought victory for Paris FC. Enough to keep us top of the table, 3 points against tough opposition, and that is exactly the kind of game that we need these results. Well done. Alright, well, Bolosian happy with his involvement. He's happy to play as a winger or wherever we need him. We love to hear that. Great attitude from the youngster, and a really great performance too. I think we'll be seeing more from him this season. And speaking of the youngsters, we have a couple players still just kind of wasting away in the academy. We're not going to do anything with them for the time being. We are so stacked for talent, we just can't promote anymore for the time being. So, huge game coming up next. We take on our rivals PSG. And honestly, with only 3 points between us last season, it was that loss to PSG that could have flipped the script and won us the title. So we're not going to miss out this time. We are going to give it our all and get out there and get a positive result. But it'll come next episode. In the meantime, if you guys want to join the Discord and help shape the storyline of this career, feel free to join. Would love to see you all there if you're not already. Also, reminder, you can go to respectthejeff.com and click on the Paris FC tab to see all of the detailed stats and player ratings for this season so you can feel a little more in touch with the squad. Also, consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I'll be back soon with next episode. But until then, I'm Respect the Jeff, and I'll see you next time.